a moment in my life that just like marked me, maybe even scarred me a little bit. My wife and I got married the summer between my sophomore and junior year in college. Our first child was born 10 months later because we were what you call efficient. And so, you know, junior year in college, here's my daughter, and I you know, we go and we have Jasmine there at the hospital, and after everything is done, and the next day we're taking her home, and I just remember distinctly, I had this feeling, you know, we're packing our stuff up, and I'm just looking around, you know, and we're packing her up, and we're putting her in her little chair, and I'm just looking around, and in my mind I'm going, I can't believe they're about to let us leave with her. No instruction manual, no, you know. And so we leave, and we go home with this precious little girl. And we get to the house, and I mean, it's just, you know, it was awesome in every sense of the word. And fearful. And then we got a phone call. Well, you know, when babies are born, they do this little heel prick for blood typing, and then they do the little, you know, footprint and all that sort of stuff. Well, they had forgotten to do that. So 21-year-old Voddie has to put the baby in the car seat. And Mama's not going back. Mama's, you know, she's recovering. Take the baby back to the hospital. Bring the baby into the hospital. Give the baby to the doctor and watch them stick my baby. And the worst part about it, they stick her, and it was that delayed cry. You know what I'm talking about, right? They stick her, and she goes, and she looked at me. And with no words, she said, "Daddy, why?" And I lost it. I cried all the way back home. She only cried halfway, right? I get back to the house. My poor wife is like, what went wrong, you know? I was like, and they stuck her, and she looked at me, and she just, you know, and I just... I think about that in light of texts like this. I think about that little baby going through something that she doesn't understand. All she understands is that hurt. And if she could have asked, she could have said, "Why did you let that happen to me?" Probably would have even thought that it was indicative of me not loving her. And she would have been completely and utterly wrong. But she couldn't understand. But I heard. I remembered. I saw. And I knew. Ever present, never absent. And I want you to know that in the midst of whatever that fear and anxiety is, that we serve a God who hears and who remembers and who sees and who knows. And if you ever want a picture of both how this works and why this works, look to the cross. Because this God sends his only begotten Son to the cross to redeem sinners. And Christ dies on the cross. He suffers on the cross, forsaken there on the cross. And God the Father heard and remembered his covenant and saw and knew, not only from the perspective of Jesus who is enduring the cross, but from the perspective of those of us for whom Christ is enduring the cross. And in the cross, God says to us all, no matter what it is that you're enduring, I hear, I remember, I see, and I know, and I am working out your redemption. And I am so committed to your redemption that I crushed and killed my only begotten Son on the cross so that your redemption could be guaranteed. Whatever it is that you're afraid of, whatever it is that you're enduring, it ain't bigger than a dead Jesus. And if God can raise Christ from the dead because of and in order to demonstrate his commitment to the redemption of his people, then he can bring you through whatever it is that's causing you this fear and this anxiety. Because God always rescues his people.